So early childhood, we grew up in Fall River. I had an older brother named Jordan. In early years, things went pretty well. My parents were really fun. They were really nice and goofy. Just like me and my brother. It was a very playful household. To start. My parents, unfortunately, they struggled with addiction pretty badly. So, my brother and we spent a lot of time alone in some of those formative years. Kind of wandering the streets and just kind of, finding our own way. And things got pretty tough for a while. And that's why I feel very fortunate to have an older brother who's just a year older than me. We always confided in one another. We always stuck up for one another. So it kind of got us through that tough time. I would say around the age of about 8 or 9, my aunt and uncle ended up taking custody of us. My parents battled really bad with the addiction. Shortly after we were adopted, my parents lost their fight with addiction about a year after one another. I really started to notice these mental health battles starting, I would say, probably around 16, 17 years old. These are already challenging times, and having gone through, some unfortunate events, certain things didn't come to me as easily. I was a very shy person. I was very nervous around people. So I'd make all these doctor's appointments, seeing, one doctor after another, and everybody's telling me that, I'm healthy. And it was a very upsetting time because I just wanted an answer. I didn't feel like myself, and I really wanted to get to the root of what was really, making me not feel so well. I spent a lot of time at home. I took a lot of time out of work. I ended up spending my entire, retirement that I had saved up for missing all my work, just from not feeling well and being super anxious. I'm starting to think, well, maybe it's mental health, and maybe some of the things that had happened in my past that I never really paid attention to or processed are starting to kind of come up again. The lack of attention from my parents and some of the things I had gone through in the past, and some of my struggles with personal relationships almost made me feel that I'm not worth, not worth these things, or not worthy. I thought about ending my life a couple of times. It's obviously, it's a terrible way to feel. I don't feel like I deserve that. I don't feel like my friends and family deserve that either. And that's kind of kept me pushing along, is thinking of my brother and thinking of my family and thinking of everybody who showed up for me every single day. I really started to do my research. I started to research some of the symptoms I was having. I was starting to research some of my behavioral patterns. I also started therapy again, which was, I have to say, probably the best decision I had ever made. I want to give a quick shout out to Celeste, the therapist. She was a huge positive spot in my life, but she really, kind of directed my attention inward, and to see, and to focus on healing those things inside of me, and talking to somebody who just understands and is real with you. It really inspired me and made me want to help people too. The journey to become a peer specialist started when I was in the partial hospitalization program. And speaking with some of the people in group, trying to offer my perspective through them, and just being, participating and being present, and really taking it all in, it made me think about, how I could do this professionally. I did my research online. I started looking around for different, free trainings that were around, different ways I can educate myself on mental illness. And I came across this suicide prevention training where I actually met Robert Ortiz. So he was there, and he was promoting the second annual Walk in My Shoes event. And I became really interested in that, and I took a flyer and I told him I wanted to participate. A couple months later, I ended up participating in that walk. And I brought a couple friends with me. It was a great time, and I sought Robert out after the walk. I just wanted to talk to him quick, talk about peer services. And finally, I found, the CPS course online, which I signed up for, and I got accepted, which was awesome. It was very exciting. It was an excellent program. Completed the course in the 8 weeks, and one day I said, I'm going to email this guy, see if there's somewhere I can fit at FHR. And he reached out to me, invited me to a peer meeting, and I was hired 2 weeks later. So the type of work I do every day, I spend time with people, I talk with people, we tackle subjects that, you know, may be a little bit harder to speak with other people with. I like to give my story first. You know, I like to give those details that that may sometimes be a little bit harder to give for other people. And what I feel like this does is it allows that person to trust me. The fact that I'm able to divulge some of this information to them. And I found that it's been really, really helpful. I sometimes drop some of my people off, or I'll leave their houses or their apartments, and I have this big smile on my face that I can't get rid of. And it's just because I'm just so fortunate to be in the position that I'm in. It's just made me feel so great about what I do. Just spending time with people, you know, in general is just, it's been a very positive thing. So I've kind of come full circle, which is great because now, you know, I'm part of the team who helps put together the Walk in My Shoes event that I participated in last year. I run my own peer group once a week on Thursdays, and if that can inspire anybody, you know, to get the help that you need. For those out there who are struggling in silence, I want you to know that being honest about what you go through, being open, that's not a sign of weakness. That, if anything, is a sign of strength. There are people out there who genuinely care about you, who genuinely want you to be well, and genuinely believe that you deserve to be here just as much as anybody else. I assure you that I'm one of those people who genuinely cares and really wants to help. So, you know, let your voice be heard. Speak about what you go through. There's help out there for you. I assure you of that.